Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Hesham Hamoda. I'm the president of the Harvard Arab Alumni Association, HAAA, and an assistant professor at the Harvard Medical School. I would like to welcome you all to the 10th annual Harvard Arab Weekend. I would like to briefly tell you about the HAAA and then talk a little bit about why we are here today. Our mission has always been to bring the Arab world to Harvard and to the US, as we do today. And I will claim that there has never been a more important time to do this more than now. While some are talking about building walls, we need to continue to build bridges of understanding. While some are talking about exclusion and division, we need to talk here about strength, diversity, and unity. For those of us who are Arab Americans, this is our nation. We serve as its doctors, as its engineers, as its lawyers, artists, laborers, and in every field. And we will continue to serve to push this nation forward. At the HAAA, we also bring Harvard and the US to the Arab world, as we do in our second flagship conference, the Harvard Arab World Conference. Held at a different city, different Arab city every year, our next conference will be held in the spring in the Dead Sea in Jordan, and I hope to see many of you there too. As the Harvard Arab Weekend reaches this milestone, I would like to reflect on what it has achieved over its 10 years of existence. It's incredible to see how this conference grew from a small gathering of alumni and students to now being the largest Arab conference in North America. Over its 10 years history, it has welcomed thousands of attendees, witnessed stimulating discussions and debates, launched many successful companies through the startup pitch, provided job opportunities through its career fairs, and maybe most importantly, witnessed many new families formed. I'm not going to put anyone on the spot. You know who you are. Such success would not have been possible without hundreds of volunteers who have given their time and creativity because they believe in a better Arab world. There are many people to acknowledge, but such success would not have been possible without the visionaries who brought together the first conference in 2006, including Rania Sukkar, Ashraf Higazi, Shad Ahmed, Dina Shakir, and many, many others. Many others followed in their footsteps, Shahm Alwar, Ahmed Al-Jaili, and really so many people to name. I would like to also thank you, our guests, our distinguished speakers, and our sponsors and partners, whose generosity make these events possible. I would particularly like to thank our strategic partner, MISC Foundation, and our platinum sponsors, Bank Aoude, Aramco, and Hikma Pharmaceuticals, who sponsor our startup pitch. Last but not least, I would like to thank our heroic team of student organizers, led by the amazing conference co-chairs, Leen and Aziz. And the Harvard Business School co-chairs, Reed and Anton. While conferences are important, they are not enough. We work closely with Harvard to admit more Arab students. And by launching our HAAA Scholarship Fund, Harvard's first alumni scholarship fund, which has supported at least one Arab student for each of the last 5 years, and we hope to expand beyond that. We also routinely hold Harvard information sessions in different Arab cities to demystify the Harvard application process. Thanks to these and efforts of many others, during the young life of the HAAA, the number of Arab students at Harvard has increased significantly. In 2009, for example, there were 68 Arab students at Harvard. I'm proud to tell you that in 2015, the number more than doubled to 140. And with that, we hope to double our impact and our aspirations for the Arab world. So why are we here today? We are here today with a message of hope. Our theme for this conference is Beyond the Present, Striving Towards a Better Future. In a region with one of the youngest populations in the world, and despite the bitter realities of today, our youth are the hope for the future. We are here because we need to extend bridges, not only between the Arab world and the West, but among Arabs themselves. We are here because we are confident that through empowering our youth and giving them the best education, Arabs can and will do better. We are here because it's not enough to despise our reality, but to create it. We ultimately gather today to build a bridge to a better future for the Arab world. I would like to conclude with a few words in Arabic. أيها الحفل الكريم، بالأصالة عن نفسي وبالنيابة عن جمعية خريجي هارفارد العرب، أرحب بكم معنا هذا المساء. نلتقي في وقت تمر فيه أوطاننا بأوقات عصيبة، وتمر به الولايات المتحدة بتغيرات سياسية كبيرة، ولكننا هنا اليوم لنبعث برسالة تحد وأمل. ولئن تساءلتم عن منبع هذا الأمل، فأقول لكم إن أملنا معقود بثقتنا في الشباب العربي. لقد داومت على حضور هذا المؤتمر سنوياً منذ عام 2009، حيث كنت طالباً في هذه الجامعة. أعود كل عام وأنا أتوق لأن ألتقي الحضور من خيرة شباب الوطن العربي الذين تسلحوا بالعلم والعمل والمثابرة والأمل. أمل في وطن عربي يحتضن أبنائه ولا يدفعهم إلى الغرق وهم يحاولون الهروب منه. أمل في وطن عربي لا تتنازعه الطائفية والتنافر. أمل في وطن عربي يعرف بجامعاته لا ببشاعة سجونه. أمل في وطن عربي متصالح مع الذات ومنفتح على العالم. أمل في وطن عربي يعلي قيم العلم ويتسلح بقيمة العمل. إننا هنا اليوم نثبت أن الشباب العربي يستطيع، شباب يستطيع أن يتحاور مع الآخر ويتعرف عليه، شباب يستطيع أن يؤسس شركات ويقيم الشراكات، شباب يستطيع قبل أي شيء أن يحلم بغد أفضل للوطن العربي. أود أن أختم حديثي هذا بأبيات من الشعر للمتنبي اتخذناها شعاراً ونبراساً لجمعيتنا. على قدر أهل العزم تأتي العزائم، وتأتي على قدر الكرام المكارم. أتمنى لكم كل التوفيق في هذا المؤتمر، وطاب مساءكم.
السلام عليكم. مساكم بالخير جميعا. كنا حابين نتكلم معاكم بالعربي اليوم بس we thought to include any FBIs in the room in the conversation. My name is Abdulaziz AlBassam and I'm a second year MBA at Harvard Business School.
And I'm Leen Kassab. I'm half Syrian, half Lebanese, but I grew up in Dubai and I did high school in Saudi Arabia. Representative of the Middle East, some would say. And I'm a junior at the college here studying MCB on the pre-med path.
And we are the co-chairs of Harvard Arab Weekend 2016. While we may not have a prepared written speech as our president, no pun intended, but we'll try to speak as genuine as possible to make HAW 2016 great again.
Oh my God. To be honest, up until this moment, I was starting to question why I signed up for this. My GPA is wondering that as well. So did my midterm this afternoon. But now that I'm here with you all, I'm reminded why I'm doing this, and I'm reminded what HAW really means. HAW honestly is my family here on campus. It reminds us of our roots and provides us a sense of community as we get together and have conversation that is fruitful as we move forward.
I totally agree. And Harvard Arab Weekend for me serves two purposes. The first is a platform that enabled Harvard students to engage the community through their thoughts, discussions, and engagement of debates. that would bring the community closer and see the other point of view. Not necessarily to like or dislike, agree or disagree, but to listen and think and bring together the community. The other purpose is to bring the Arab community to Harvard University and allow the community to experience this great institution. At hope that one day a lot of the community is going to come through these great institutions and experience it just as we did. I remember back at the college in 2008, while I was a freshman at Northeastern University, I got a friend of mine coming from out of town that encouraged me to attend. And when I came here and experienced this place, I had a seed in me that implanted, that made me here today with you at Harvard University. And that's what we hope to share with you all, and that's what we want.
Over the summer, I was fortunate enough to volunteer with the Syrian American medics on a medical mission in Zaatari refugee camp in Jordan. And despite the tragedy and despair of the scene, I was very grateful to have been on that experience. And while there, an old man came to me while reminiscing for home and أهداني هذه الأبيات, and I wanted to share it with you today. أنا هنا وحبيباتي هنا فمن يعيد لي العمر الذي ذهب يا شام إن جراحي لا ضفاف لها فمسحي عن جبيني الحزن والتعب وارجعيني إلى أسوار مدرستي وارجعي الحبر والطبشور والكتب هذه الزواريب كم كنز تمرت بها وكم رسمت على حيطانها لعبي يا شام أنت الجمال وكل الحب والأمل أنت شامة الدنيا وزهرتها فمن يعيد لي العمر الذي ذهب يا شام. I guess we can all agree that we can replace Ya Sham with Bilad al-Arab, because we reminisce and dream for this unity represented in this poem. كيف لا وقد علمت في صغري بأن عروبتي شرفي وناصيتي وعنواني وكنا في مدرستنا نردد بعض ألحان نغني بيننا مثلا بلاد العرب أوطاني وكل العرب إخواني. And what better place to celebrate this unity than together here at Harvard University, as we mark 10 years of excellence at Harvard Arab Weekend.
At this decade remark, our theme of beyond the present and striving towards a brighter future could not be more timely. Throughout the turbulence that we see in the world, politically, economically, socially, the goal of Harvard Arab Weekend is to shed light at all of these problems and hopefully try together to find a solution that will enable all of us to have a better future. The future of Harvard Arab Weekend is all of you, the aspirational future, the generational future, the young future who are you, Harvard Arab Weekend 2016.
And to do this, we have so much in store for you. From panels with arts in the Middle East and diaspora to the post-oil era, from racism in the Arab world to VCPEs and sustainable cities, from innovation to address the refugee crisis to the agents of change as an image for a brighter future. It is all here for you at Harvard Arab Weekend. And tonight, we bring you
the Nobel Prize winner, Tawwakol Karman,
most inspirational violinist, Mariella Shakir,
the head of White Helmet, Raed Saleh,
and most notable pianist and composer, Malik Jandali.
On behalf of Leen and I would like to take this opportunity to thank HAAA and our president for all the support that they've given us. I would like to thank our sponsors, our strategic partner, MISC, and our platinum sponsors, Saudi Aramco, Bank Auda, and Hikma Pharmaceuticals. And I would like to thank our team of more than 60 people that worked very, very hard over the last 6 months to make this weekend possible for you all. Thank you very much.
Honestly, this weekend wouldn't have been brought together with just Aziz and I. We've had a team of people from across all the Harvard schools. We're up to above 60 people, and they've been diligently working, as Aziz said, for the past 6 months, attending weekly meetings and just giving their all into this. And I would really like to thank them again. So, who is excited to officially start Harvard Arab Weekend 2016? We're going to start with Mrs. Tawwakol Karman. In 2011, at the age of 32, Tawwakol Karman became the youngest person ever awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Known as the mother of the revolution in her native Yemen, she was at the forefront of the struggle for human rights and women's participation in peace building in her country for years, organizing nonviolent protests that swelled in size and became part of the 2011 Arab Spring movements. Tawwakol Karman was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 2011 in recognition of her work in nonviolent struggle for the safety of women and for the women's rights to full participation in peace-building work in Yemen. Upon being awarded the prize, Tawwakol became the first Yemeni, the first Arab woman, and the second Muslim woman to win a Nobel Peace Prize, as well as the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate to date. She is a true exemplar of the meaning of activism and its importance in being embedded in you, our youth, as we move beyond the present. Please join me in welcoming her.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon all of you. I'm so happy to be here for the second time with Arab Weekend, for third time with Harvard University. I'm so proud to be with you as the most intelligent people around the world. Okay, and I'm so proud that I will speak English. At the previous time, I talk in Arabic. So now I will speak in English, and I will not be afraid if I made any mistake. So dear my sisters, my brothers here, I have believed that the salvation of societies from their miseries hinges on their ability to charge their women and youth with the task of leading. This spans both the public and the private realms, from leading the country as presidents, as legislators, members of local committees, heads of schools and institutions, to the boardrooms of companies and enterprises, to the decision-making process of individuals, families, and households. There is much to be gained by putting more women, more youth in decision-making positions. And yes, so there is much to be gained by putting more women and youth in decision-making position and entrusting them with the resources to lead. A simple recount of fundamental transitions that have changed forever nations and societies across the world will show that women and youth were at the heart of those changes. In many, they were, in fact, at the forefront. However, what comes after their initial change? Do women and youth continue to lead and manage the aftermath? Unfortunately, history tells us otherwise. Old men quickly take the helm of leadership, and the status quo is either restored or adopted according to established institutional perimeters. Is it correct? If you think this unjust, do you think this unjust? Do you think this unjust? So you are not alone. You have the right and the power to inspire change and also dictate its aftermath. You have the responsibility to change this equation. Innovation in business, technology, politics, and so on spurs from the need to change and eagerness for a better, freer future. Women and youth are at crux of opportunity, ability, and need to change patrilineal institution and change the dominant discourse. Don't let fear stop it. So patrilineal, even in our language, called nizam abawi, al-abawiyya, so it's hard, phrase for some people who doesn't recognize this phrase. But now, why are youth and women best positioned to lead this type of change? For one, you are the first beneficiaries of such a change because the odds are stacked against you. Your opportunities and ability to fulfill your potential hinges on your access to more resources and more fairer platform. Second, you are free from entrenched biases and the baggage of past decisions. You are positioned to lead change and transform the future without reproducing the current system or repeating past mistakes. You are at an exceptional time in human history. The technological revolution and the globalization of the internet has positioned youth and women in a new space, uncontrolled by the establishment. Old men will fail to control the new media, such as social networks, largely because they don't understand how to do. The new era of technology-based media is an important time for you. You own keys and you are master of its capacities. This is the product of development that span centuries, and it has come to this: a platform in the palm of your own hands. The grievances of women today are byproduct of system that is centuries old. The ability of women to lead and inspire change is also the product of centuries of struggle and reforms. Remember, it's the product of a struggle and reforms, both in legal laws, but also in accepted norms and customs. This ability to lead and to reform, however, isn't privilege, it's but a right. Isn't a privilege, but a right. You have long been excluded from leadership. They are asked to wait for their turn until they are mature and capable before assuming public leadership. Yet still, in many countries around the world, qualification and skill were not enough. Access to leadership was limited to selected few. There is something unique happening now in Arab world and other places. Youth are inspiring changes and lead it. Technology is but one example, and Silicon Valley is one place to look at. The coders, innovators, programmers, the majority are youth. Many are women. This is special. This is really special. The end users and targeted audience are also the youth and women. Founders of many platforms are barely in their mid-30s. The list spans social media like Facebook, Twitter, search engines like Google, but also firms that have changed how we do things like Amazon, Apple, and Microsoft. Young people created many of them. These innovations are the product of youthful optimism and determination, the ability of thinking differently, to change how things are done. These are the advantage of youth. This is changing how the world operates. The world, as we know, it is bound to react and change as a result of these transformations. For these reasons and other, youth and women are the most prepared, empowered, skilled, and capable ones to inspire change and to lead the world towards a better future. Now, the question that I want each one of you to ask himself, herself is, what is your role in the future? What is your role in the future? What is your role? What is your project or calling? How are you going to make your life meaningful? What impact do you want to have in your family, your community, your country, and the world? So please ask yourselves these questions. In the word of the organizers of this conference, my call to action for you. You are each endowed with the ability to change lives around you. Make your journey count. Your success should be defined by what you offer. And this starts with aspiration and dream. Dreams are then to be translated into action. And action accumulated together become transformation. The great transformers of the past had dreams bigger than themselves. They came into the world and left it a different place, a better place. So, I have tremendous belief again in you and in your ability to improve this world. There is much suffering, much poverty, and despair. I hope this is enough to motivate you every day, to drive you to do something. You should know, and you should believe, that you are the solution to global poverty, and you are capable of spreading prosperity. You should know, and you should believe on yourself. You are the solution to spreading peace and coexistence and eradicating the violence and conflict and war. You are the solution to climate change and capable of saving our planet. You are the solution to create freedom and dignity to your people. You are the solution to eliminate global starvation and hunger. You are the solution to guaranteeing good governance, free of corruption, and ensuring justice and equality. You are the solution to pioneering scientific creativity and discover to serve this world and generation to come. Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? Of course, yes. You are capable to do that and more. And with your journey to achieve all this responsibility, remaining optimistic and hopeful in spite of our current situation is the brave thing to do. Remaining optimistic and hopeful in spite of our ugly current situation is the brave thing to do. It is the right thing to do. Your capacity to contribute to change is a measure of your capacity to remain helpful and your ability to dream. This drive can only come from within. Again, remain helpful. Dream big and take the first step. No matter how small it is, the first step will lead to bigger steps. Every long journey started with a step, big or small. Keep your aims high and your intentions noble. Keep your aims high and your intentions noble. Big dreams will translate it to bigger action, if not immediately, in the long run. Dear sisters and brothers, you are your only limitation. Challenges and obstacles are only so when we let them limit our potential and dictate our dreams. The future belongs to those who plan for it today And the plan starts with a dream again, so the future, in a sense, belongs to those who dream. Dreams are big by the nature of how many people they impact. All big dreams are built on values and a desire to lead change. This is what I mean by big dreams. Dreams of helping people. Dreams of helping people for better life, healthy life, a prosperous life, a dignity life. And while you dream, and while you work to achieve your dream, I want to give you a very small and important advice. Start with institution. Start with institutional change. Aspire to change the current one or establish new ones to serve your goals and aspiration. Participate, and define educational institutions, join and change and make and establish political institutions, create and lead civil institutions. And as you strive towards your dreams, remain determined and at achieving your goals, and don't easily give up when faced the obstacles. Don't fear, and don't regret missed opportunities. If my personal experience is an example worthy for some of you, or for your consideration, this is my advice to you. And also another advice, which is trust this word exactly. No dream is too big to achieve, and no goal is impossible to reach. Those who blame circumstances for their failures are the biggest obstacles to themselves. Overcoming challenges is what defines big dreamers from others. There are ample opportunities for all. You should know, there are ample opportunities for all. There are enough challenges also for each. What is ahead is more pressing than what passed. Changes and revolutions create momentum for more changes. The results are transformations, deep and genuine transformations. Large transformations are made of individuals' changes. Societies that frustrate the dreams and goals of its individual citizen, crucial development and change on the large context. Potential and resources are wasted, and this result leads to backwardness and impoverishment of society. Dear brothers and sisters, it's really my honor at the end to present today with you a group of leaders with ample opportunities, big dreams, and undefined, unlimited potentials. I see, really I see. I see before me the future reformers and changers. Remember this moment and remind me when I have the pleasure to meet you again. What you are tomorrow is what you dream to be today. No leader or transformer of change got to where they were without a dream they had one day. I came today to remind you of the importance of hope, of the value of dreams. I came to share my inspiration with you, but most importantly, I came to be inspired by you. Let's be together for our Nobel dreams. Thank you so much.
شكراً لك كتير، عن جد شرفنا بحضورك. We're gonna have a moderated discussion, and I'd like to ask you a couple of questions. So, can you tell us your story of how you became an activist yourself? As a child, could you have envisioned yourself playing the role you played in your country?
As I said in my speech, that the first step is to dream. So I started dreaming for my country. I think about my country 24 hours since I was a child. How can I do solution for all the crises that are around me? You know, Yemen suffered from a lot of crises in economic, in political, in social, in security. Every kind, stability, every kind of crisis is there. So I always thinking, how can I do something for my country? And put this question, how can I, not how can they do something for. So I started dreaming on making my country better, on solving the problems. I always said, I am the one who solved that. And I am the one who export the dream for the people. So that was the most important step that I did, and that I advise anyone that wants to make a change for his society, for the world, is start dreaming and dream that you are with people. And start thinking how to convince people to dream with you, to achieve with you. And that was very, very hard step for me, how to convince people that we can do it. So all the crises in my country, the most important reason was, and still is, the ousted President Ali Saleh. So I believe that the only solution, or the most important solution, the first solution, he has to leave the authority, so to give the chance for the people to change. But that was the worst solution that I can tell people about. And they said, oh, you are crazy. Don't speak that. You can't do that. So it takes time. But how it takes time for me, that I put myself in the first step of achieving the dream, my dream and the dream of people. So this is the second thing, is putting yourself in the front line, and don't be afraid from anything. People will see how you are, believe on your goal, which is their goal, because it isn't something that I want to be rich or I want to be something for myself. It's for the people. I want to free those people. So the people was very shocked that women in the front line, don't afraid from anything. They was afraid. Some of them, they laugh at me. Some of them, they afraid. Some of them, they just watch. But at the final, all of them become with me. And we have a big victory And we did it when we forced the ousted President Ali Saleh to resign by our peaceful revolution against him.
Definitely. So, as you just described, this first step for you was much engaged in politics. Your father himself was a lawyer and a politician. Did this influence your choice to use politics as the first step towards a solution?
I told you that when I saw the problems and the crises, always I asked myself, what can I do? What can I do? I didn't say what government should do. Yes, I demand, or I told the government to do 1, 2, 3, so as its responsibility. But from where this culture came, that I should be the one that takes responsibility. My father taught me, when I was a kid, the very important poem that I give it, I encourage my kids to يحفظوها, to keep, which is إذا القوم قالوا من فتى خلت أنني عنيت فلم أكسل ولم أتبلدي. If, with my simple translation, if the society needs, who is the person who will help us, who will make it? Directly I say, I am. Who is the guy? I am. So I will not become lazy, and I will not become stupid. Is this the correct translation? So always carry the initiative. Always say, I am the one who will do this thing for my society. Deal with your society as a father, as a mother, that you have to save your kids. They are your kids. So I don't like to say that but this is what we did through convincing myself and people around me that we should sacrifice in our life. And they put me many times in the prison. They put my people around me, the youth, and still now there is a lot of people, they are sacrifices now, until now, against the counter-revolution of ousted President Ali Saleh and the coup of him and the coup of Houthi. They are still in the prison. Some of them been killed, some of them now in the exile. All of them carry the initiative. All of them didn't give up and will not give up. All of them didn't lose their hope. All of them didn't say our revolution or our spring dead. No, they said we are still alive and we are still continuing our struggle for freedom, dignity, democracy, peace, rule of law. This is all our dream, all our action, and this is all our victory. And that is not in Yemen just. It's with all the people in Arab Spring countries. My father inspired me that a lot, how to be strong woman, how to be strong human, how to serve people, all people, men and women, how to be an effective person in your life by carrying the initiative and by dealing with people as a citizen. As a citizen. So you have to work with all people. You have to sacrifice with all people. That was the way that we made the first step of victory. Until now, we are with all these pains. We said that we accrued the first step of victory, that we forced Ali Saleh to resign, we forced Hosni Mubarak to leave, we forced Ben Ali to leave, we forced Al-Qaddafi to leave, and we will force Bashar al-Assad to leave. So this is This is the only first step and the biggest step. The rest is details. So, and we know that every great revolution followed by counter-revolution. What we face now is an ugly counter-revolution with an ugly silence from the international community. But will we give up? Of course, no. Because at the end, we are the victorious. Yeah.
Thank you. That's a truly inspirational message. How do you manage to carry on this message and manage all your other duties as a wife and a mother of 3?
Where is my husband? Because I have a great husband. And also, I have a great family. So because of that, I call all people here, and I believe that most of them, they are Arab and other people. You have to encourage your daughter, your son, to be involved in the public affair. You have to trust in them, especially with women. You have to trust in your daughter. You can't imagine how my father trusted me. And you can't imagine how my husband trusted me. While all the kind of bad rumor was against me. While they put me in the prison, my husband go to the media and he said, I'm proud of my wife. Before arresting me, it was arresting any woman in Yemen that was something impossible, especially the women who work in the public life. Impossible. And if any woman entered to the prison, that means that her life, her future end. But for me, when they arrested me, it was the first step of the great revolution of Yemen. First, the position of my husband and my father. My father was very angry, and because he has relationship with the ousted president as his
Parliament, the Council of
Consultants Council. So he has a lot of threats. If you will not stop your daughter, we will kill her. He tried to convince me to stop, but I told him, my father, it's too late. Too late. You nurtured me to be against corruption, to work for justice, and to don't give up. Now you tell me, Tawwakol, it's enough. So forgive me, I will not listen to you. He always said after that, he smiled, okay, go on. And my husband, when they arrested me, as I told you, he contacted with a lot of people around, inside Yemen, outside Yemen, told them that they kidnapped Tawwakol because they didn't arrest me, they kidnapped me actually, and they put me in the women prison. He told them they kidnapped Tawwakol and we don't know where is her, and they asked him to come, and he didn't feel shame. He said, I am so proud of my wife. And I'm telling the government, Ali Saleh, what is the result of kidnapping and arresting Tawwakol against all women in Yemen? Any woman who wants to think in the political, to participate in the political life. What is the result for women or for a family that want to educate their daughters? What is the result? So he gave a good, يعني big, strong, interviews. At the time, Yemeni people, all Yemeni people, all the governorates, not all, not but all the governorates, go to the street, raising my photo, calling for my freedom and the freedom of the country from the dictator. So, the first step is from the family. Or let's make it a good prioritize. First from you, yourself, as women and as men, as youth. You have to trust on yourself, and you have to defend on all your goals. Don't give up in any obstacles around you, even if it's from the family. You should convince your family to help you and to support you. Second step, which is the family. So please, fathers, mothers, you have to support your daughter, your son, because the world waiting them. The humanity waiting them. Don't put chains around them. Help them, support them, trust them. Trust them. The trust is very important thing. When you give her or him the trust, you will see how he will serve the humanity, not just in himself. Third, the society, and that the society will welcome him or her. The society will welcome, and believe me, the society will welcome her or him. And this is my own experience from a very conservative society. Anyone who, I can ask you, what do you think about women, especially before revolution in Yemen? What will you say? Oh, she's always victim. She just can't cook, and that's it. This is the image of women in Yemen, unfortunately. But the reality that there is strong women, and when woman trusts herself, convince the society that she can lead them, the society welcome her. And that is what happened in Yemen. Yemeni people respect me a lot. And I'm so thankful for them.
So do we. We're so privileged to have you here with us. I'm gonna open up for a very short Q&A from the audience. Maybe we'll take one or two questions. If anyone has any. We have mic runners down there, so.
She said everything, so.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your very inspirational words. I wanted to ask you, as a Syrian American, and what the feminist message that you have, shared with all of us today is very inspiring. But one thing I've heard from other activists in the region or outside of the region, they said that right now the role of women is very strong. But there will be a day after the revolution when women are going to be forced back, or society is going to try to force them back to where they were before. Do you think that that's something that we should be worried about, or what can we do to prevent this from happening? Thanks.
Absolutely, yes. Unfortunately, yes. But not with our revolution. It's with the previous revolution. And this is the history told us, that women and youth, always they are, in all the crises and wars, always they are in the front line. But when the country becomes stable, the men come to hijack the authority. And this is true. But is this this equation must continue? Of course, no. And who can change it? We. And that is what happened, by the way, in the Arab Spring countries. That is what happened. For example, in Yemen, woman who led the country in the revolution is the same woman who led the country in the transitional period. How? Women in Yemen participated in writing, first, in preparing the most important thing, which is the National Dialogue Committee, which is the highest committee in the country who will decide what is the future of Yemen in all fields, especially with the constitution. So it was there in 30%, 30% of the people there. The same thing with the constitution. Women also participate in that, and also youth. And yes, there was some mistakes, but women was there and youth was there. And the outcomes of the national dialogue and draft of a constitution was written by them and was all what women and youth and peaceful revolution called for. With all things as a citizen, and remember, citizen before women. Citizen rights before women's rights, because it's the women's right. So citizen rights inside the constitution by all the kind of freedom and human rights, by anti-corruption, by the accountability, all things in the draft of constitution was there. And particular in Yemen and woman in the constitution, there was articles for women as 30 constitutional articles that said that woman has to be in all the institutions not less than 30%, and even with the early marriage, the constitution deny it. صح منعوه. And also in the age of childhood, we determine it by 18 years old. So all this written by the hands of women that was there. But suddenly what happened? The coup happened that destroyed all the victory of women and men. And again, when I talk about women, I want her to be at the front line, but I don't want her to be alone. So I am against any woman movement that always take the men as her enemy. No, we will not exclude them like what they exclude us. So we will continue our role. The battle is big, and the steps is also a lot. But again, we start, and we will not give up. And we believe, and we swear that we will achieve our goals. This is the history of all the revolutions. So what happened now, the chaos that is happened now with Arab Spring, it's the chaos that made by counter-revolution, not by the revolutionary people. It's by counter-revolution, it's by military coup, it's by absence of the international community, it's by conspiracy, but always people is bigger than all these items. We will win. This is what happened in America, in Europe. Do you think that they reached to the democracy suddenly? Magically? Or it takes hundreds of years? But with Arab people, with Arab countries, with Arab Spring, we are just 5 years. It's very small. We are just young, it's a baby. So very soon, this baby will become youth, and it will be very, very soon. I promise. We promise.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
A small token of our appreciation.
Thank you.
شكرا. شكرا لك.